Namaste. In this video, we are going to discuss Buddhi Yoga, a very, very important concept in the Bhagwat Geeta. It is actually the key, you can say, to understanding the state of yoga as described in the Bhagwat Geeta. Because what happens to the Buddhi, the higher intelligence, when you are in touch with the divinity within you? It becomes luminous. It helps you connect directly with the divine. This state of yoga, it is called Buddhi Yoga. You see, your own intellect has got transformed completely. It has got divinized, and it will help you maintain that bhav, the inner state of yoga at all times. It is not the feeble, stuttering, completely distracted intellect which is always sankalpa vikalpatmika, considering the pros and cons of things. That is not the level of the intelligence. It has become stable and pure, and it reflects the highest. It will keep you in touch with pure awareness that you are. It will keep you in touch with the Lord within you. This is Buddhi Yoga. So this is so beautifully described in the Bhagwat Geeta. The actual state of yoga ushers you into this level of buddhi. So that is why the emphasis. See, all the discipline of yoga is meant to attain this state where the luminosity of your buddhi, that itself reveals the highest realization. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, the pure mind, the pure buddhi, and the pure Atman are one and the same thing. See, this is the ultimate formula of spiritual realization. When you purify the mind completely, the buddhi becomes luminous. That buddhi is always in direct touch with the source, pure awareness, the Atman, whatever you call it. So, manufacturing this type of buddhi is the essential thing. How to do it? Bhagavad Geeta will tell us that also. Lord Krishna says in this regard, so I would like to cover those verses where Buddhi Yoga is described. Lord Krishna says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha, those who worship me as the origin of all beings, as the source of all beings, and as also the point of where all beings dissolve. Matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha, knowing me to be the originator and the dissolver of all things and beings, wise people worship me. And how? Machchitta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. They become one with me in mind, as it were. Machchitta madgata prana, their whole vitality merges in me. Bodhayanta parasparam, they love to discuss about me in this wise. And kathayantascha mam nityam, they talk about my stories, my glories. Every day they dwell on me in this wise. And tushyanti cha ramanti cha, in this they relish, in this they revel. So to such I grant Buddhi Yoga. To those whose minds are riveted to me, who love to talk about me and who love to discuss my divine glories, whose minds are united with me, whose hearts are united with me, who dwell in me in the state of yoga, tesham satatayuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayanti te. To such who are satata yukta, ever in contact with me through all these means, bhajatam priti purvakam, who praise me, who glorify me through all these means, I grant Buddhi Yoga, dadami Buddhi Yogam tam, yena mam upayantite, by which they come to me alone. So what happens as a result of all these practices? When you dedicate your entire thought, see, thought and emotion are expressions of your vital energy. When that vitality is dedicated to the highest in you, what happens? the thought and emotion get so pure, it can only love the Lord. It can only move towards the Supreme. So when God is worshipped thus, with your entire being, your intellect will become luminous because it has touched pure being, the source of your being, which is the Atman, which is nothing but the Lord within you. Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhutashaya Sthitaha. Lord Krishna says, I am the Atman in every being. I am that source factor from which everything emerges. So this point of origin within you, the Atman, when the Buddhi is able to, through all these means, come to that rarefied state where it perfectly reflects this, the light of the Atman, it becomes luminous. So Lord Krishna says, I grant such people this Buddhi Yoga, where the Buddhi has become luminous and remains immersed in God consciousness. So through this Buddhi Yoga, through this, the connection drawn through a luminous Buddhi, the connection with the Supreme, which is the result of a luminous Buddhi, they attain to me alone. One attains to that Supreme Godhead. One merges in God consciousness, as it were. So Buddhi Yoga is the key to opening the understanding of the Bhagwat Geeta. Ultimately, all spiritual practice is meant to give you this luminous intellect, which has this transcendental knowledge right within it. As long as our intellect is covered, it is many times, it is colored by all sorts of experiences. It is not refined. Then it will not arrive at this knowledge. Once it is pure enough, clear enough through all these practices, which we have been discussing, by the dedication of body, mind, activities, everything at the feet of the Lord, that Buddhi becomes clear, rarefied, transcendent, and it will reflect the perfect truth. So thus, Buddhi Yoga is achieved, through which one attains the Supreme Lord Himself. This is the marvelous verse of the Bhagwat Geeta, which is telling us where to direct your intelligence, where to direct the intellectual energies which you have. That is why this has been considered the ultimate goal of human life. We may be great intellectuals, but the intelligence is scattered in 100 things. Gradually, we must understand that the ultimate intelligence is here, in this, to be able to achieve this one-pointed devotion to the supreme ideal of human life and attain the state of yoga, and from that state to function in this world. This is the supreme goal. Through Buddhi Yoga, this is possible, where you are in touch with the divine, you perfectly reflect the divinity and power of the divine within you, and through such a luminous intellect you function. So this is the great message of the Bhagwat Geeta. Let us remember, human birth is meant for this. This human body and mind are to be utilized to achieve these states. Sri Ramakrishna used to say this, the only purpose of human life is the realization of God. If we don't even aim at this and don't understand this in our life, what is the point in the human life? What is human birth about then? So let us remember, the entire gist, the essence is there in our scriptures. The essential thing is to take it up, practice it, dwell in it, and make it the philosophy of our life, part and parcel of our life, so that just looking at you, people will know your energies are meant for higher purposes. So this is the sadhak, and this is the great sadhana of the Bhagwat Geeta, the manufacturing of a luminous buddhi, an introverted luminous intellect, which is the supreme guide in human life, which will take you to your destination. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace.